If you're in my line, I'ma go around the side and still bring it.
All right, I don't have a lot of time, so I want you to do a quick exercise. I want you to get out a pen, piece of paper. I want you to write down what you think is the one key ingredient for success. If you had to boil success down to one key ingredient, what is it? You get 15 seconds. Go. I don't got a lot of time. You gotta write quick. You gotta write quick. All right, raise your hand if you have hard work. Hard work. Raise your hand if you have determination. All right, nope, you're wrong. Raise your hand if you have knowledge. If you have knowledge, stand up. Stand up. She's the only one right in the building. Let's give her a round of applause. What's your name? What's Tisha? I'm going to send you a copy of my book when it comes out, Tisha. Make sure you see my guy. Let me present something for your consideration. There's 3 different levels of comprehension. There's, I think I get it, which is a vague understanding of a concept. Then there's, I understand that, which is understanding without, or which is recognition without application. You have a sense of what's going on, but you don't know how to apply it. Last but not least, we have knowing. Knowing is the deepest form of comprehension that springs us into action. The information I have for you today is going to do just that. It's going to spring you into action. Over the past 100 years, there's been a considerable amount of research-based evidence about how our brains truly work. We're currently living in an age where we can hack into our biology and manipulate our physical brain to become whatever we want to become. How? Yes, you like that. Who's like that? You like that? Yes, yes, we're in that age. Before I go into explaining how, let me give you some background information how I got into brain engineering. Over the past years as a strength conditioning coach and personal trainer, I've had the privilege to help athletes become faster, stronger, more explosive. I've had some amazing body transformations from my personal training clients. I began to get frustrated, however, when I would go watch some of my athletes play, and the skills that they gained in the weight room didn't carry over to the court. I would see some of my best transformation clients months after their weight loss, and they've gained all their weight back. This made me rethink my whole training process. Through further analysis of my athletes' play and getting to the root cause of my clients' weight issues, I realized I was going about everything backwards. I was focusing so much on the physical aspect while completely neglecting the mental side of things. From there, I would dive deep into the field of neuroscience. I became obsessed about how human beings were wired. And what I found out absolutely fascinated me. During my journey for knowledge, I had the privilege to cross paths with neuroscientists, holistic doctors, shamans, and eventually the co-author of my book, Chris McCain, who's a developmental psychologist. Chris and I would team up to write a book called B.E.A.S.T Thinking. B stands for Brain Engineering for Athletes, Students, and Teachers. It's an acronym. Brain Engineering for Athletes, Students, and Teachers. Our mission is to help people engineer their brains for success. So today, I'm going to give you a fundamental overview on a new way of thinking, B.E.A.S.T thinking. Now, I'm a high-energy guy. I'm in the gym all day. I'm sweaty. I like energy. So if I say, give me 2 claps, you guys are going to give me 2 claps. So if you're ready to find out more about B.E.A.S.T thinking, give me 2 claps. 2 claps. That never gets old for me. That's awesome. That never gets old. All right, so as you see, B.E.A.S.T thinking first starts out with goal setting. How can you hit a target you cannot see, and how can you see a target you don't have? Zig Ziglar. The picture I like to paint when it comes to goal setting is that if you don't have goals, essentially you're walking around in darkness. You don't know where you're going, how fast you need to get there. But once you set goals for yourself, that opens up that light at the end of the tunnel. So now every day is a deliberate walk closer and closer to that light. After you set goals for yourself, you have to employ the 10X rule. Now, this is a philosophy by Grant Cardone. We all know who Grant Cardone is, right? Yes, give Grant Cardone a hand. Genius. Genius. And so with the 10X rule, you take your goals and you multiply them by 10. After that, you take actions that are 10 times greater than what you believe are necessary. Now, the whole reward from the 10X rule is while you're in pursuit of your 10X goal, you end up 10 times in yourself as a person. So whether or not you get to that goal, that's not the reward. It's who you become in the process. That goes along with the quote, aim for the moon, but if you miss, you're still amongst stars. After you 10X your goal, you have to get in alignment. And before we talk about alignment, we have to come to the agreement that we have some kind of life force, some higher intelligence that's operating our body, spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it. During the course of my speech, your heart is going to beat 2,400 times without you even doing anything about it, without you even realizing it. So there is something that is animating this flesh. And alignment is when you get in tune with that life force that animates our physical body. How? You have to become consciously aware of your unconscious thoughts, actions, and emotions. To do that, we practice what's called meditation. You guys all heard of meditation, right? And now, we've taken, I call it the woo-wee-woo out of meditation, and we explain it this way. Meditation, the sole purpose of that is so you can have a disassociation with your physical body, so that you can tap into that life force that's animating it. We're in fight or flight. We're constantly focused on this physical environment so much that we don't go inside and see what that life force is telling us to do. It has all the answers. It's that higher intelligence. But if you're constantly go, 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 and you're focused on this, you can't tap into that energy. All right, so if you guys understand alignment, give me 2 claps. 2 claps. Never gets old. All right, so now that we talked about goal setting, let's get into brain engineering. So brain engineering is manipulating the physical brain through deliberate thought to change one's perception of reality. That's heavy, it's loaded. I'll read that again. So manipulating the physical brain through deliberate thought to change one's perception of reality. What's reality? The picture we like to paint on reality is that our physical reality is the blossom of once planted thought seeds. Now, this is a beautiful auditorium, and as you look around, we see seats, you see people, you see clothes. A man has a nice watch on right here. It's a nice watch, brother. Thank you. So, all these things were once thoughts in people's minds, and then sprouted their way into our physical reality. All right, somebody had to think about how to make that watch, draw it out, manufacture it. So we've been getting hints from this from nature. You plant a seed, you water it, it sprouts out into your reality. When a woman gets pregnant, it happens on the inside, baby comes out from the outside. So life and success is an inside job. So where do these seeds go? They go into our subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind is a fertile plot of land that collects thought seeds based on input from our senses. So everything you see gets dropped as a seed into your subconscious mind. Everything that you hear gets dropped as a seed into your subconscious mind. Everything that you touch, feel, say gets dropped as a seed into your subconscious mind. And the more exposure you have to that stimulus is like watering it. You keep on watering that seed, it will express itself in your reality, your perception of reality, which is important. So what's the hack here? What if you're not enjoying your life experience? That's just a residual effect of you allowing things that you don't want into your subconscious mind. You're having a reckless conversation with someone. You're watching TV and commercials are just pouring into your subconscious mind. You're listening to music that you're not in alignment with. And now you're having these experiences in life that you can't explain. But when you understand B.E.A.S.T thinking, you can connect the dots on exactly why you're getting what you're getting. If you enjoy your life, that's from the residual effect of you planting the seeds of things that you want to happen in your life. You're hanging around the right people. You're collecting the right stimulus from your senses. Now, what about those of you out there that have hit a plateau in life? You can't seem to get over that hump. That is from doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and not being conscious of this feedback loop. You're dropping the same seeds, you're saying the same thing, you're having the same emotions every single day, And you're like, why isn't my life changing? Because you're exposing yourself to the same thing. We think 60,000 thoughts every single day. 90% of which are the same thoughts we thought the day before. So that's why we're continuing to get the same thing. It's because we're doing the same thing. All right? We have to cause some kind of disruption in that. So the hack is to program our senses. We have to deliberately plant the seeds of what we're looking to get so we can reap the harvest of those seeds. And it all starts with speech. I am. We all know the power of the words I am, right? Yes. Most powerful words in the English language. Whatever comes after them starts to shape your reality. We have psycho-endo-neuroimmunity, big long word, which pretty much says if you feel like you're getting sick and you say in your mind, I am getting sick, the likelihood of you getting sick is increased dramatically. We have the placebo effect. You're sick, I give you a pill, I say, hey brother, this is going to make you feel great. And you take it and you're like, I'm feeling better. I am feeling better. And you start to feel better. Your body starts to produce its own pharmacy of drugs to make you feel better. The mind is powerful, folks. You got to use it better. If you understand the power of I am, give me 2 claps. 2 claps. Next, we have to control our vision. So everything we see gets dropped as seeds into our subconscious mind. Anybody seen the movie The Secret? The Secret, yes. That's kind of what introduced a lot of this law of attraction stuff to us. So in the movie The Secret, they introduced the use of vision boards. So vision boards is the thing that we teach also at B.E.A.S.T Thinking, but you have to do your vision board the right way. All right, so for those of you that don't know, a vision board is pretty much just a visual representation of I am. These are things that you want to happen in your life. You look at them as a reminder of what your goals are. All right, but the problem is that most people look at their vision boards and they say, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. They're planting the seed of I want. So if you plant the seed of I want, and you keep on watering that by saying I want that, what are you going to get? You're going to still want it. All right, you guys are good. So the hack to that is looking at the vision board and looking at those images and experiences as if you already have them. Saying I am that, I have that. Employing gratitude to it. All right, so we talk more about how to do that, how to attract that emotion in our workshops. If you understand the power of vision boards, give me 2 claps. Next thing you have to manipulate is your hearing. To me, hearing comes in two forms. It's the music we listen to and the people we hang around. So we said earlier that brain engineering changes one's perception of reality. My personal experience with music is I used to listen to a lot of ratchet hip-hop. And, woo, somebody said, woo! We got some fans in here too. I'm not gonna lie, I still listen to a little bit, but my mindset's different. And what I realized now it didn't make me want to go out and sell drugs and nothing like that. I wasn't on the block, but it changed my perception of what success is all about. Hip-hop and ratchet music perpetuates success is about women, multiple women, cars, multiple cars, clothes, a bunch of clothes, and 2 chains, right? He's actually one of my favorites, my guilty pleasure. But what happened was, that's why I started thinking success was all about. That's what I was chasing, and there was no alignment. My soul was like, bro, what are you doing? And so I was introduced to reggae music, and immediately I felt that connection. It's more conscious, talks about love, peace, respect. All right, and it helped redo my perception of success. Success to me now is doing what I want, when I want to do it, with the people I want to do it with, all while giving back. All right, so hearing also, people that you're around, they drop seeds into your subconscious mind. All right, there's life and death in the tongue. I can say something to you right now that affects the rest of your life. So we have a responsibility, especially with the people that we love the most, is to build them up with our words. I can't tell you how many people I have in my sessions that are struggling with weight issues because their dad called them fat when they were 6. And guess what happened? They say, when you're 6 years old, you have no control over your self-image. Your parents input your self-image. And so now that person says, I am fat, I am overweight. And they ride with that assumption for their whole entire life, and they wonder why they struggle with their weight. It's because they allowed that stimulus to drop into them. So we must build each other up, folks. If you understand the power of hearing. Give me 2 claps. Last but not least, we have environment. Your physical environment has to be a playground for your future success. In 2014, I ran a marathon. How long is a marathon, anybody know? 26.2 miles. Don't forget that point 2, man. That point 2 was tough. So, to train for it, I had to do a 12-week running program. My first 3 weeks, I didn't run at all. I was being lazy. Now, I was trying to figure out why I was being lazy, because I'm not a lazy person. So one morning, I woke up, and I was like, why aren't you getting ready to run right now? Looked at my environment. One of my shoes was right there, my other shoe was across the room. The clothes I wanted to wear were still in the washing machine. My iPod, which was back then iPods, you listen to your portable music, was in 1 of 3 bags. I didn't know where my headphones were at. So I had the ingredients, but they weren't in the pot. All right, so I reorganized my room. I got my room more in alignment with the room of a marathon runner, and I ended up running. I was more motivated to run. So a lot of time we think that we're lazy or we're not motivated, but a lot of times it's our environment that's not giving us that motivation, and we can control our environment. Environment also makes up the people in your environment. Jim Rohn, everybody knows Jim Rohn, right? Yes. I love the legends, man. So he says you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around the most. So if you hang around 5 lazy people, you're going to be the 6th. If you hang around 5 successful people, you're going to be the 6th. But Tuck, I don't know 6 successful people or 5 successful people. We live in the best technological age ever. Raise your hand if you don't have a cell phone or a smartphone. The little kid over there. Yes, because you're young. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet, bro. You're not ready yet. So, you take your smartphone. You go to this app called YouTube. You type in Gary Vaynerchuk. You type in Les Brown. You type in these people that you want to emulate, and you put them in your physical environment. Now, I'm a big sports fan. And I like to see, now that I'm into this whole neuroscience thing, I like to try to see what athletes are using this stuff on themselves. And there's been 2 athletes that I know for a fact engineered themselves to be great using just their power of their mind. One is Tom Brady, the other is Kobe Bryant. All right, so I'm more of a Kobe Bryant fan than Tom Brady, so we'll talk about Kobe Bryant. So let's reverse engineer Kobe Bryant's success. 18 years old, enters into the NBA. Immediately 10x's his goal. He could have been like, I want to be an all-star, and that would have been good with him. He said, no, I want to be the best player ever. So then he 10x's his work ethic. Have you guys heard of the crazy stories of Kobe Bryant's work ethic? Waking coaches up at 4 a.m., shooting 1,000 shots before practice, being drenched in sweat before practice even starts, and being the last one to leave. The most genius thing he did, though, was he asked himself, who's the most successful player of my time? Who can I engineer myself to be? And he said, who was it? Michael Jordan. Here's the residual effect of him becoming obsessed with Michael Jordan.
They're just a standard that's above in all cases.
If you electronically switched the uniforms and played that at full speed, you would not have been able to tell who was who.
Michael looks over at us and said, he can't guard me.
Kobe looks over at Doug Collins and said, this guy cannot guard me.
This man, when you think about Michael Jordan, the closest to get to Michael has been Kobe Bryant.
Now we just agree that these guys are like phenomenal players, and let's just move on. We got to do the one-on-one battle, huh?
We got to do it.
many in the basketball world would consider Kobe Bryant a superhero. But did you know you all have superpowers? Yeah. I have one. Yeah. It's the imagination. The imagination is our only redemptive superpower. Neville Goddard. If we think back at the programming and senses, we talk about I am. So all these things, I am, vision boards, hanging around the right people, what they do is help you get a more clear picture of what you want in your imagination. A lot of times we can't attract what we're trying to get because we can't see it. Now it becomes unnatural. But when you say, I am strong, and you have a strong person on your vision board, and you hang around strong people, you're going to be strong. You know what it feels like. You can see it more vividly. So you have to do the mental work. Facts. The imagination is a preview of life's human attractions. Albert Einstein. So now that we understand goal setting and brain engineering, let's get into some science. So in the past, it was believed that the brain was fixed or concrete. You couldn't add neurons. You couldn't create new connections. Who you were is going to be who you were until you die. Hence the phrase, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Or once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. These are fixed characteristics. It's not true. All right? So scientists in recent years have proved that's not to be true. The brain is plastic. We can change it. We can add neurons. We can create new connections. We can change our personality. So neuroplasticity is just the mind's ability to rewire the brain. Let's talk more about the brain. The brain is consisted of 100 billion neurons that communicate with each other through an intricate network of electrical signals called neural pathways. Anytime you think, learn, feel, or experience something, you create new pathways. Habits, skills, and personality are just well-traveled pathways. So let's look at some skills real quick. We'll use this as an example. So we have two different neurons here. Let's use the example of learning to tie your shoe. So the neuron on the left is the first time you learn how to tie your shoe. You see that signal is traveling very, very slow. The neuron on the right, this is what it looks like when you tie your shoe now. Very, very fast. We don't have to think about it. We can do it with our eyes closed. The obvious difference is this white substance coating this neuron. That's called the myelin sheath. In 2007, Daniel Coyle discovered that anytime you repeat something, you myelinate that neural pathway. You add this coating gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. He discovered the neuroscience behind hard work. He discovered the neuroscience behind repetition. He discovered the neuroscience behind your habits, good and bad. All right? He also discovered the neuroscience behind skills. This is how somebody becomes skilled. This is Steph Curry's jump shot. All right? It's heavily myelinated. Sometimes it doesn't look like the guy is looking. Any Warriors fans in here, by the way? Yeah. Next slide. So let's talk about talent and skill acquisition. Your talent stems from your ability to subject yourselves to hours of finding and fixing errors in whatever skill you're trying to acquire without the loss of concentration, energy, and effort. The last part's most important. So you're able to sit down, get better at something, have somebody correcting you on every little thing you're doing wrong, and during that process, you're not losing concentration, energy, or effort. You're not getting frustrated, you don't want to quit, you're still very, very intrigued about what you're doing. So let's talk about how to acquire a skill fast. This is from a book called Deep Work by Cal Newport, and in it he talks about how to acquire skills fast. There's three parts. There's chunking, reaching, and feedback. Chunking, pretty easy. You break a skill down into smaller parts. You master each part so that you master the whole. So we have a picture of a fork, a knife, and an elephant. A quote goes, what's the fastest way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. But why is that a quote? People don't eat elephant. But if we were to eat elephant, we couldn't swallow it whole. We would have to go one bite at a time. Next we have reaching. Reaching is practicing at the edge of one's abilities. So if my ability is here, and I practice here, I'm not getting any better. I have to practice right where I start to get uncomfortable every single time I practice to become better. If I just get 1% better every time I practice, in 100 days I'm 100% better. All right, so we have to get better. So many people practice in their comfort zones. And the last but not least, we have feedback. Now this is for all of you teachers, coaches, educators out there. You have to learn how to give effective feedback to your pupils and to your athletes. And effective feedback is direct and immediate. So if I'm a shooting coach, I'm not going to let my athlete take 5 shots the wrong way, because I know the science behind it. He is myelinating a bad pathway. He's creating a bad habit for himself. So the quicker I give him an adjustment, hey, hold your follow through, the faster he's going to be able to make that adjustment, the better he's going to get. If I address the crowd and I'm really just talking to him, that's not direct. So he's not going to take it to heart and correct that as well. So that's the whole deep work philosophy. Right now, we're moving into an era where we're not going to need external motivation to spring us into action. Through B.E.A.S.T thinking and brain engineering, we're going to understand how our brains truly work, and we're going to use that knowledge to become better at business, school, sports, and life. We have 2 initiatives at B.E.A.S.T thinking. The first is motivation through education. The second is there's no greater knowledge than knowledge of self. And we started out this whole talk about knowledge. What's the root word of knowledge? Cool thing about know, what happens when you take the K off of know? You have now. So now is the time to start engineering your brain for success. Now is the time that we raise our collective consciousness by becoming the highest representation of ourselves. Thank you, this is my time.